us back down. You better believe me when I say I'm the rubber man. You are super glue. I'm bouncing back, baby, and I'm stuck on you. It may seem like we've got a lot of work to do. Baby, it's alright, it's alright. There may be some fish in the ocean, but you are the queen of my sea. I know you're worried, baby, but you don't have to be. Drink a little wine and we'll both agree you'll come back.
You're listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show with your host, Brad Brock.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Jams and Coffee here in the morning. I am your host, Brad Brock, and we're here. It's another Tuesday morning. We're already a whole day into this week. Full disclosure, and truth be told, I woke up this morning thinking for some reason that tomorrow was going to be Friday. I thought that today was Thursday. As we know, that's not accurate at all. So happy Tuesday to everybody out there. Thank you so much for joining me here on Jams and Coffee over on YouTube, or watching on Facebook, or listening in on JNC Radio, wherever you're tuning in. Please give us a like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I put links all over the place for you to pop over to the YouTube channel. It's better over there. There's a very large coffee conversation going on over on YouTube, so come and join the fun over on our YouTube channel. But I am checking the chats and comments, so I'll be reading those. And if you got something to say out loud, feel free to give me a call on the JNC hotline at 772-888-1596. And follow the prompts there, and it'll get you on the air with me. So, with that being said, I guess we'll do a little check of the weather here. A much nicer day shaping up here on the Treasure Coast than yesterday. Hopefully that stays the case. This morning, the temperatures are running in the mid to upper 70s with a few isolated showers pushing in from off the ocean. This afternoon, hot and muggy with the highs in the upper 80s and some showers and storms mainly inland. And tonight, the lows are in the mid to upper 70s under partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, the highs are going to be in the upper 80s with afternoon storms mainly around the lake. So, yeah, we're back to Florida here. We're back to Florida here on the at least on the Treasure Coast with the weather. We had fake fall. That was a wonderful couple of days. But now we're back to regular Florida. What are you going to do? In many cases, if you're hungry, it's National Sausage Pizza Day. Pretty self-explanatory, I suppose, but I guess I'll read it. We're the read. Let's see. Food lovers, of course, across the country enjoy National Sausage Pizza Day on October 11th each year. Whether served on a thin or thick crust, sausage pizza goes well with other toppings too. Don't hesitate to add mushrooms and a variety of cheeses. And what's even better about sausage pizza are the different kinds of sausage to choose from. Bye, Jordan. I like your outfit. Very cute. While Italian sausage may be perfect, try experimenting. Add more garlic or try an additional spice. Try smoky sausages as chorizo or even kielbasa. You visit with your local butcher for sausage suggestions. They've probably been smoking up the latest experiment just for you to try. So, Sausage Pizza Day. I don't know, what are the little balls that are usually on the pizza? I guess Italian sausage? That makes the most sense for a pizza. But stranger things have happened. Phillips' irrelevant weather report. It says it's under the 40s this morning with the highs in the low to mid 80s. No rain yet. That's up there in Tennessee. Still no rain. That's unbelievable. I almost went out to the yard and put the sprinkler out yesterday because I was like, oh, man, it's been a couple of days. And as I was doing it, I saw the clouds rolling in. I was like, maybe we'll just save this for another time. Glad I did. Sure glad I did. Oh, man. All right. That was a very short National Day list today. What is going on out there in the world? Yeah, we got some interesting stories. Not necessarily, I wouldn't call it news, but some interesting stories. Do you guys remember back earlier this year when William Shatner, actually not, I guess wouldn't even be earlier this year, late last year, William Shatner traveled to space on the Blue Origin rocket. I was brought to tears by it. I'm not too proud to admit it. I've been a fan of William Shatner and the Star Trek universe for since I was a very small child. So and there was a point in my life where I watched every episode of the original series, all of the films, up into the very first Star Trek: The Next Generation film, and really, really got connected to the Captain Kirk character. And so it was actually a very special moment to watch William Shatner actually go into space for the very first time, which was pretty neat. At 90 years old, to boot. Quite a feat there for old Bill Shatner. But I guess he just released a new book just a few days ago. And he had some interesting things to say, and he did kind of mention this right out of the gate. As soon as he touched back down, he was, it was really crazy because, he was trying to convey this to Jeff Bezos, and Jeff just wanted to pop a bottle of champagne and celebrate. And understandably, everybody has their opinion on Jeff Bezos, but, I'm not sure what I would do. I would probably blast people off into space if I had billions of dollars as well. Pam said, he can say whatever he wants as long as he doesn't sing it. I'm a rocket man. Oh, brilliant. See, he could do no wrong to me. I want that song played at my funeral. His version of it. I'm a rocket man. Wonderful. So, listen, astronauts have, for decades, described their trips to space as breathtaking and humbling, a reminder of the Earth's fragility and humanity's need to serve as stewards of our home planet. Actor William Shatner, who joined a suborbital space tourism flight last year, experienced the same phenomenon, but he had a very distinct observation when he turned his gaze from the Earth to the black expanse of the cosmos. He said, all I saw was death. And he did say that verbally to Jeff Bezos right after the little capsule came back down. But he wrote it in his new book. Shatner's biography, called Boldly Go, which he co-wrote with TV and film writer Joshua Brandon, is filled with similarly grim anecdotes about Shatner's experience bolting above the Earth's atmosphere aboard a real-life rocket after his memorable stint playing a spaceship captain on the 1960s television show Star Trek and several franchise movies in the following decades. Love them. He said, I saw cold, dark, black emptiness. It was unlike any blackness you could see or feel on Earth. It was deep, enveloping, all-encompassing. I turned back toward the light of home. I could see the curvature of the Earth, the beige of the desert, the white of the clouds, and the blue of the sky. It was life, nurturing, sustaining life. Mother Earth, Gaia, and I was leaving her. Reads an excerpt from Boldly Go. It was published first by Variety. Blah. I need to do like the brown cow reading exercise that newscasters do before I do this. It's early. It's early, folks. Shatner's book, of course. What did he say? I missed a part. He said, everything I had thought was wrong. Everything I'd expected to see was wrong. While he expected to be awed at the vision of the cosmos, seen without the filter of Earth's atmosphere, he instead became overwhelmed by the idea that humans are slowly destroying our home planet. He felt one of the strongest feelings of grief he's ever encountered. If you want to learn more about that and see what else Grim Shatner's got to say, you can check out his book Boldly Go, is released on October 4th by Simon and Schuster, the publishing company there. So it's a book I may check out just because I'm invested in this man's life and career personally. He doesn't know who I am, but I will likely read that book. So I'll read it, and then we'll have a powwow. I'll read it. You can read it. We could get together and talk about it. I don't know. Have some sort of book club, you know? I can't believe they've not come up with that concept of reading a book and then getting together and talking about it. We'll be the first to start a book club. Talk about the books that we read. It's a great idea. I'm gonna write that one down. Anyway, anybody else have any? What else has William Shatner done? T.J. Hooker. He was also in Boston Legal, where they have the coffee. What else has Shatner done? Wasn't it Rescue 911? The television show about first responders. I remember that too. He did a lot. He was doing the most. Anyway, William Shatner. I thought this was a crazy story, you guys. Because these stories, for the most part, rarely have a happy ending. Very, very rarely do you have a happy ending, especially when it's been as harrowing as what these people, or an experience as harrowing as these people had to endure. So the story goes: a fishing trip turned into a rescue mission over the weekend when 3 people became stranded in the Gulf of Mexico for more than a day after their boat sank. With 2 of them fighting off shark attacks before help arrived, according to officials. That's scary stuff, man. I do not play with sharks. I don't like that. When rescue crews located the trio, they found 2 of them fending off sharks in the water. Boat crew pulled them out, and they were taken to a hospital via helicopter. The 3rd boater was hoisted from the water. All 3, miraculously, are in stable condition, with 2 suffering hand injuries and 1 showing signs of hypothermia when rescued. The family member had not notified the Coast Guard, and if these 3 boaters were not wearing life jackets, this could have been a completely different outcome. Don't play with life jackets. I don't care if you're just in the lake down the street from your house, man. It's so worth it. They still have the dopey orange ones, which are probably the most safe and the most easily visible when they're trying to find you. But they have cool, if looking cool is your thing, they have really cool life vests out there now. Really snazzy looking and still incredibly effective. But, could have had a different outcome, according to Lieutenant Commander Kevin Keefe, a Sector of New Orleans Search and Rescue Mission Coordinator. We were just talking about the Coast Guard. See? Just yesterday, we were talking about the Coast Guard. The trio's boat sank around 10 a.m. on Saturday, and rescuers searched an area of about 1,200 square miles, which is about the size of Rhode Island. He went on to say, "We appreciate the assistance of the boating public who were instrumental in helping identify possible areas where these boaters could have been operating before the vessel became in distress." So a happy ending to a story that could have had a completely grim outlook, or outcome, rather. Jordan texted in, and she said that William Shatner was also in Miss Congeniality, and I do remember that as well. Miss Congeniality, the film with Sandra Bullock. Yeah, he was good in that too. God, how old is that movie now? Got to be pushing 20 years old, maybe more. Ay. Crazy stuff. I got an interesting story about the mysterious ancient heart of the Milky Way galaxy. Since we're talking about space, well, it was discovered using the Gaia probe. I'm going to tell you all about that. The beginnings of the galaxy. When we come back from this musical break, I had a little technical difficulty. Ooh, did you hear my voice crack? I had some technical difficulties this morning, so I just need to check a couple of things and make sure that we good. Here's a little tune from Abby Owens. Thanks for tuning in to Jams and Coffee this morning. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
I remember when we were kids, we'd go running through the grove. We were chasing fireflies, not knowing that we'd get old. And I remember everything, and I know that it makes me. I remember everything, and I know that it makes me. We were born down in Indian town. Daddy worked on big machines, packing oranges till the sun went down, and chasing those honeybees. And I remember everything, and I know that it makes me. I remember everything, and I know that it makes me. Mama tells me that we were born at home there 'neath the orange trees. We all wait in vegetable scale. It's a story that most don't believe. And I remember everything, and I know that it makes me. 'Cause I remember everything, and I know that it makes me.
You're listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show.
Yep. That is correct. You are listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show here. I appreciate that. Thank you for tuning in. That was, of course, Abby Owens with Indian Town. So Philip said he was looking up William Shatner's filmography. And it's got to be a huge list. He also confirmed that Miss Congeniality came out 22 years ago, in fact. Absolutely mind-boggling. But William Shatner, man, impressive career at 90 years old. How could he not? Still keeping at it. What were we talking about here? Oh, yeah, by the way, if you are tuning in, thank you so much. And feel free to drop me a line in the chats and comments wherever you're listening. I'm trying to keep an eye on everything. But if you got something to say and want to share it with the class, you can give me a call at 772-888-1596. It'll put you in the queue, and we'll get you on the air to talk. Otherwise, chatting's fine. I'm down with that. So, listen, astrophysicists that were investigating the origins of the Milky Way may have discovered our galaxy's old heart, the original ancient nucleus around which all of its stars and planets grew. Who knew there was a center? The center of the galaxy. Fantastic. Well, the collection of 18,000 of our galaxy's oldest stars are located in the constellation Sagittarius. And they're from the Milky Way's proto-galaxy, a primordial mass of gas and dust forming the very first stars of a young galaxy. And that is more than 12.5 billion years ago. Outstanding. Accounting for an estimated 0.2% of our galaxy's total mass, the group is the kernel around which all of the Milky Way galaxy eventually grew, researchers found. The findings were published on September 8th on the preprint server RXIV and are yet to be peer-reviewed. So this is just, they wanted to get it out there for people to see. To discover the primordial group of stars, the astronomers drew on data from the European Space Agency's Gaia Observatory, a 3,500, almost 3,600-pound spacecraft launched in 2013 with the goal of creating the most detailed and accurate map of the Milky Way. It's long been believed, on the basis of theory and simulations, that the very oldest stars are at the very center of the galaxy. We've now shown them to be there in great numbers, according to the lead author Hans Walter Rix, an astronomer at the Max Planck Institute for Astronomy in Heidelberg, Germany. He said it's like doing archaeology in an old city. We've shown that the oldest and most primitive ruins are at the modern city center. Finding our galaxy's ancient heart began with searching the most crowded region, its central bulge. The tiny proportion of stars around the same age as the roughly 13 billion-year-old Milky Way galaxy. To pluck this tiny group like a needle from a haystack, the researchers pulled together data collected from the Gaia on 2 million stars that sit within 30 degrees of the galactic center, searching for lower mass, longer-lived stars with low metal content. Stars matching this profile were birthed in a much younger universe, was not yet filled with heavy metals scattered far and wide by supernova explosions. Interesting. That's a good way to extrapolate that information. It makes sense. Well, this is only half of the story, as metal-poor stars within the Milky Way galaxy may also have come from smaller dwarf galaxies that smashed into and merged with our galaxy throughout its life. By examining these stars passed through space while retaining only those that didn't veer out into the metal-poor regions of the galaxy, the researchers were able to separate out the stars that form the ancient heart from the stars that originated in a dwarf galaxy. Little separation. Philip, so Shatner was there and did a selfie. He's pretty sure of it. Yeah, he may be old enough. It left researchers with some of the original skeleton of stars around which the Milky Way grew, a population they estimate to be between 50 million to 200 million times as massive as our own sun. As heavier stars die faster than smaller ones, the remaining stars are, on average, around 1.5 times lighter than the sun. That's according to researchers. Rix said These stars make up about half of the total stellar mass once born, so about half of the stars from the protogalaxy survive to date. The researchers' examination of the Milky Way's now exposed ancient heart revealed two things. Firstly, as stars of the old protogalaxy rotate much less around the galactic center compared with younger stars, it confirms past observations that the Milky Way's core began its life stationary, eventually picking up a rotational speed as the galaxy's center of mass grew. And secondly, in spite of multiple mergers with smaller galaxies, the close bunching of stars in the Milky Way's center points to its core not having been invaded by collisions from other galaxies. Ricks said the Milky Way never has been shook up dramatically. Our galaxy has lived a sheltered life, as he put it. With further study, the researchers hope the ancient heart can teach them even more about our galaxy's earliest years, such as the types of supernovas that must have exploded during its time of creation to produce the proportions of early chemical elements that we see today. So, exploration with a purpose. You gotta love it. I think that stuff is cool, man. I couldn't even begin to wrap my head around the idea of anything being 13 billion years old. That's like saying, here's $13 billion. What are you going to do with it? I wouldn't even know. I'd probably go out to dinner that would maybe top out at $1,000. I know a couple places around here to go where you can drop $1,000 on a really nice meal. But that would be it. Then it's like, I don't know, maybe I just wipe out all my debts and all my family's debts. You know, I guess that would be the first order of business. But 13 billion years old, could you imagine? The dinosaurs couldn't even imagine. And they were around for a long time. As though one dinosaur lived that long. But interesting. Some local news. Those of you that are in the area here, you might have noticed that in Port St. Lucie, near the Tradition area, that Pop Stroke had shut down for renovations. If you like mini golf, this place is next level mini golf. Really, really well put together and in a cool design. Really good food and a bar. It's kind of like if you've ever gone to like Top Golf. I don't know if you guys have Top Golf up in Tennessee. But Top Golf, it's, you know, basically like the multi-level driving range. So this is you know, but with a nice bar and good food and a little arcade, you name it. Like it's a destination. Top Golf is dope. Jordan and I, when we were in Michigan recently, or at the beginning of the year, we went for the first time together. And we're so excited. We got out there. For me, like, this is just such a guy moment, just a dude moment. We get some beers. We get all sorted out. We pick our game on the little screen. We pick out what driver we wanted to use. I got right up to the green. You wave the little wand and the ball comes out. It comes out. I put it on the little tee, and I stood there and realized I had no clue whatsoever what the hell I was doing. I had no idea how to swing this club to make that ball go anywhere. And what's so enveloping about this is that at no point prior to being in that spot did I think, man, I really have no idea what I'm doing. I should maybe watch a YouTube video. I should maybe, anything. I think they even offered to send somebody over if, we needed a little quick, 1 minute lesson. They're like, no, we're good. We got beers. And we got time. And that's what you pay for here. Oh my God, you guys. Needless to say, the first couple of rounds that we went through, because Jordan, mind you, was not much better than me, although she was. It was it was a trying couple of first rounds. And then, you kind of get the hang of it. And I remember, growing up in Florida, you at a very young age, you learn how to at least hold a club. So at least I kind of had an idea there. But the truth is, I had no idea. I had no business standing there looking like an idiot. Thankfully, the couple that were right in the little booth next to us, equally as terrible. And we just laughed and we cracked up. And eventually, we got it to where we were able to, lob that ball pretty far off and no direction, no idea where it was going. I would be terrible on a golf course. But we actually had a really, really good time. Well, Philip said his daughter took a short video clip of him at Topgolf. And he thought he had good form, and he said he was wrong. See, no evidence. You can't have evidence of the failure. So all of that brings us back to PopStroke, which is he's like the Topgolf of mini golf. Really interesting concept. And the one here in Port St. Lucie, in fact, is the very first one. And now they're putting them all over the country. So here's the story. The nation's first PopStroke has actually reopened here in Port St. Lucie after a makeover by none other than the Tiger Woods. Hand to God. Tiger Woods involved. The golf entertainment venue in the Tradition area of Port St. Lucie reopened October 8th after being closed for over 2 months for the substantial renovation, according to founder Greg Bartoli. Now it has a new playground, a revamped menu, and redesigned putting courses, thanks to new co-owner Tiger Woods. TGR Ventures and its design team, TGR Design. Bartoli said, we made it more accessible, more reflective of what PopStroke looks like in 2022 as opposed to 2019 when we opened that first facility. Tiger Woods designs golf courses. And Woods has been involved with the Jupiter-based PopStroke company since late 2019 and shares his insight and perspective for the layouts and routes. Woods wasn't a partner when the first PopStroke opened in Port St. Lucie, but he was part of the Orlando, Sarasota, and Fort Myers locations. And he plans to be involved in many future U.S. locations. Each location is unique with different layouts and holes. Bartoli said, we want them all to be different. People travel from coast to coast, and people go to Orlando a lot. You don't want to see the same exact layout. The two 18-hole putting courses in Port St. Lucie were created with synthetic turf, incorporating undulations, fairways, bunkers, and roughs similar to traditional golf courses. Very cool. The Tiger Red course challenges experienced putters with strong contouring and tricky hole locations. All right. The Tiger Black course has softened contours for families and anyone new to golf. Say aye. Bartoli said they're more playable and more user-friendly now. The first set of courses were a little too difficult. Previously, a beginner could hit the ball anywhere, even to another hole or part of the course, he said. PopStroke fixed that by adding hills and elevation to changes to keep the ball in the hole of play. Also, the greens previously were too fast and therefore too difficult for beginners, he said. The new proprietary turf system controls the speed of the greens more effectively and is more like traditional greens on a golf course. If you were a beginner, it was really challenging and really frustrating, Bartoli said. Now we've put protections in place so that it's more playable for beginner golfers because it allows for errors and mistakes in play. But for the advanced golfer, it's still, as they play the course in a different way, more strategic and more experienced, he said. They're still going to have the same challenge and the same changes in elevation and changes in breaks. The PopStroke prototype at Port St. Lucie didn't have a playground when it first opened, but all the facilities that came after it have been or will be built with playgrounds for children, I suppose. Maybe for adults, too. I don't know what's going on out there. Port St. Lucie venue also has cornhole, foosball, an ice cream shop, and a full-service restaurant and bar with an expanded menu. Previously had a smaller kitchen with only pizza and wings, but now has burgers and other sandwiches. Cool. Bartoli plans to continue renovations during the winter months. Plans to remove the golf simulators and convert that area into an event space, which should be done by January. He said, we're a family-driven golf entertainment facility. We offer really unique putting courses and an opportunity for guests to come out and be introduced to the game of golf or to work on their putting if they're more advanced golfers. Full disclosure, I have not been to Pop Stroke over there in Port St. Lucie, although it's in my backyard, basically. But I kind of want to go just reading that article. And not just because Tiger Woods is involved, but it always looked appealing. I just suck at golf. And maybe I only suck at golf because I just haven't played. Top Golf certainly was in no way revealed my natural talent. And any putt-putt course I've ever done certainly did not reveal some hidden golf talent either. But who knows? Maybe Pop Stroke is just the ticket. So if you're listening out there, Jordan, we need a Pop Stroke date. And they have a bar. Oh, man. That's the joint. We're going there. Pop Stroke. And Philip and Pam, if you guys make it down this way, maybe we'll get together and go to Pop Stroke together. We'll have a double date and be terrible at golf together. I got some music news today. Roger Waters, when he's not making waves with his thoughts on the Ukraine, he's also just running his mouth about basically anything. So. Here, but this is an interesting story because it addresses something that conspiracy theorists and stoners alike swear to. But this goes back to the Pink Floyd and Wizard of Oz legend. If you guys don't know what that is, I'm going to tell you. But Roger Waters and other members of Pink Floyd have by now thoroughly dispelled rumors of any intentional connection between their 1973 Dark Side of the Moon album and the classic 1939 Judy Garland film, The Wizard of Oz. A long-standing legend maintains that there's a stunning synchronicity between the Dark Side of the Moon and The Wizard of Oz. If you play both the album and the movie at the same time, something magical happens. Well, Roger Waters called bullshit on the idea when prodded about it during a recent conversation with Joe Rogan. He said it may work if you do what they say, he cautioned, but it has nothing to do with us, any of us, nothing to do with anyone in Pink Floyd or anyone who wrote or recorded any of the music. It's something that somebody thinks it's a coincidence. Maybe it's a cosmic coincidence. You never know. The old Milky Way may be involved here. But Waters went on, suggesting that he's enjoyed the way the legend has taken off on a life of its own, and mostly in the pre-internet era. The basis recounted in a related but likely apocryphal tale he heard some years ago involving a traffic stop down south. An officer following a tour bus on the highway initiates a stop after noticing the vehicle weaving about the road a bit. The officer opens the door to the bus to be nearly knocked over by a billowing column of marijuana smoke coming from inside. He goes in, he goes through, and he's trying to find people with dope because it's just full of marijuana smoke. Eventually, he gets to the back of the bus where there's a private compartment. He opens the door and goes in, and there's Willie Nelson. Now, the story is that Willie Nelson is listening to Dark Side of the Moon and watching The Wizard of Oz on television. And Roger Waters said, I don't believe it for a minute, but I like the story. I also like that story. Very rarely do humans of this age become these legendary figures. And it leads you to believe that perhaps all of these legendary historical figures from the time before time just has these stories created about them without it being existing in reality. Like, for instance, that story about Willie Nelson. Legendary figure of our time. And we got to live through it. It was wonderful. And he will no doubt go down in history as this legendary figure, whether or not all these stories are true. Fantastic. Philip said he's done it. Dark Side of the Moon. Watch The Wizard of Oz. And how did it go? How was that experience? I have not done it. I feel like this needs to be a bit for Jams and Cocktails. I feel like it needs to be a bit one time. We need to do that as a group, just to see. And like, I don't know if it works with the DVD or it has to be VHS or whatever the case is. I don't know. The truth is, you could probably go on YouTube now, find the entire film with the record put right in the place that it needs to, and you don't have to do anything. You could probably just get it. In fact, that's what I'm going to be doing right after this show today. And maybe we'll have a private viewing party together. I'll set up a private live stream, and all of our friends can come in, and we can all watch it together in the chats. Do whatever we want. Yes. See, I'm planning. I'm plotting. Anyway, let me finish the story, I suppose. According to the legend, one must set the album to repeat because it's only 43 minutes long, while the film is 101 minutes, and press play upon the MGM Lion's third roar during the opening sequence to get the sync started. And sit back and enjoy Dark Side of the Rainbow. That's just choice. Brilliant. Dark Side of the Moon engineer Alan Parsons also addressed the fable during an interview in 2020. Just after describing it as a fabrication by someone who had too much time on their hands, he explained definitively why no one should believe Pink Floyd has any ideas about synchronizing their album with the film. They didn't have the technology to make sure that it worked. Truth be told. Said we didn't have VCRs back then. How could we have done it? He asked Professor of Rock's Adam Reeder. While VCRs were a few years from becoming available commercially in 1973, The Wizard of Oz didn't get a chance to release on tape until 1989, 16 years after the album was complete. Furthermore, Dark Side of the Rainbow legend only began gaining a foothold in the 90s. So plenty of opportunity to debunk this theory. But hey, listen. If it works, it works. And I like the way that Roger Waters put it. Perhaps a cosmic conspiracy. Or not a conspiracy, a cosmic coincidence is how he put it. I think that's cool. I like that. A cosmic coincidence. I'm going to start using that for any time I don't know, toss a paper towards the trash can and it actually goes in. That's a cosmic coincidence. There's no skill involved. There's no pre-decided journey that's going to happen on. Just kind of happens. The universe will find a way. Punk rock. Punk rock is getting its very first dedicated museum, which is exciting for you punk rockers out there. You got to leave it to Fat Mike to curate the world's first museum dedicated to punk rock. As Spin Magazine reports, the NoFX frontman originally had the idea for a punk rock store that would also display rare genre artifacts from his personal collection. Well, the idea blossomed into the 12,000 square foot punk rock museum, which is not only the first of its kind to exhaustively document the genre, but also the first to welcome bands of any size, not just superstars. Fat Mike's criteria is pretty straightforward. If you're a punk band, you're fucking in. It's that simple. That's what he said. We want people to come from Indonesia, and see the flyer of their band on the wall, he adds, you know how proud they'd feel? I want anyone in a punk band around the world to have that opportunity. The Punk Rock Museum houses the world's most expansive, inclusive, and intimate displays of artifacts, flyers, photos, clothing, instruments, handwritten lyrics, artwork, and just about everything else donated by the people and bands who were there. Here's a small taste of what the museum will have on display. The Punk Rock Museum's website reads, not only can you see amazing artifacts, there's a guitar room where you can play the actual guitars and basses, played through the amps the artists played them through. We have guitars and amps from Rise Against, No Effects, Pennywise, Sick of It, All, Strung Out, and many more. Yes, you can actually play them. A lot of people ask what happens if something gets broken. The simple answer, we fix it, just like we did on tour. And completely fitting that the Punk Rock Museum is located in Las Vegas. And it's slated to open soon, at the top of the year. January 13th of 2023. So that sounds like a fun place. That sounds like a cool place to visit. Very exciting. Very exciting. What else is going on? Not much. I'm going to take a quick music break. When we come back, I got some celebrity birthdays for you. We have our top 10. This is a good one. This is a spooky one. I told you I'm going to try to find some spooky ones. So I'm going to give you all of that stuff when we return to Jams and Coffee here in the morning. I thank you so much for tuning in with me and keeping me company. Here's one from Deal James. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
My mama said, baby, you like to be alone, but then I said, you know how I love your little lessons. My daddy said, nothing wrong with being on solo, but don't forget, he had to fight a war to win affection. Everybody wants someone to love. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Salt, pepper, lemon, water, peanut butter, jelly. Where's my other half? Rice and beans and coffee, cream, tortilla, chips and salsa. I'm a man with no bed. My buddy said, if I was you, I'd never be alone, bro. Thanks again. Nothing better than hearing our jokes, so I don't care. Till I do, then I'll open up to anyone. Don't feel bad, 'cause I'm looking for one and no one's good enough. Everybody wants someone to love. 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 Salt and pepper, lemon, water, peanut butter, jelly. Where's my other half? Rice and beans and coffee, cream, tortilla, chips and salsa. I'm a man with no hair. You know you had somebody to love. 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 Salt and pepper, lemon, water, peanut butter, jelly. Where's my other half?
back with Jams and Coffee in the Morning. That was Deal James, of course, with Lemon Water. Jordan texted, she was like, "You're playing all my jams." I know, it's for you, baby. Love you, girl. Get all Jordan's jams in from time to time. And thank you so much for tuning in with me this morning, keeping me company, getting me in the mood now to watch Pink Floyd with the Wizard of Oz. I'm going to find it. I'm going to figure this out. We're going to make an event out of it. It's going to be a good time. We'll all get together and watch the film. But please subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell. You can see whenever we are going live, get a little notification, and you can come and join us. It's a good time. All right, so we have some celebrity birthdays today. Some good ones. I mean, they're all good. Thank you. Thank you for being born, celebrities. What will we do without you? Today, turning 30, the Dirty 30, hip-hop artist Cardi B is turning 30 years old today. She came fame as a cast member on the reality series Love and Hip Hop New York. She's a hip-hop recording artist known for singles such as Bodak Yellow and Forever and WAT, W-A-T, or W-A-P, WAP. I don't know what I'm reading. In 2019, she starred in the drama Hustlers alongside Jennifer Lopez, and she was cast in the 2021 film F9. I haven't seen either of those films, but happy birthday, Cardi B. You keep knocking them dead out there. Matt Bomer, widely known for playing the lead role of Neil on the television series White Collar, is turning 45 years old today. He also played Zachary Levi's best friend turned nemesis on NBC's Chuck. And Matthew Cullen in The Magnificent Seven. In 2019, he landed the lead role of Matthew Zuck in the series Doom Patrol. So happy birthday, Matt. God, he really likes using his own name in films, doesn't he? Good for him. Easy to remember. Turning 37 years old, actress Michelle Trachtenberg. She, of course, had her first starring movie role as the title character in the Nickelodeon film Harriet the Spy. Her best-known television credits include Dawn Summers on Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Georgina Sparks on Gossip Girl. Michelle Trachtenberg. She's been around. Talk about somebody that's just been around forever. I can't, I expect her to be like somebody in her late 40s just because you've seen her face for so long. But she's only 37 years old. She's the same age as me. She looks much younger than I do, though. I may be 37 years old, but I identify as 100, and that's acceptable these days. It's all about how you live. Oh, Pam, today is your mom's birthday. 88. Double eights. Happy birthday to Pam's mom. Turning 88 years old today. We discussed this just a few weeks ago, didn't we? Somebody else had just turned 88 years old, and it just we had that whole discussion about how wonderful it would be to live such a lengthy life. A lot of people are not fortunate enough to be able to take in all of those experiences. So I really admire folks that have made it past their 70s into their 80s and beyond. I think that's super cool. And y'all want to know your secret. I think Pam told us her mom's secret last time. You can remind us if you want. I can't remember what it was offhand, but it was a good one. Turning 46 years old today, Emily Deschanel, the actress who played the anthropologist Dr. Temperance Brennan on the television show Bones. Her role earned her 4 award nominations from 2006 to 2012. She's, of course, the elder sister of Zooey Deschanel. 46. Happy birthday. Oh, yes, Pam said her faith. And, yes, faith is a very powerful thing. The mind is an incredible antenna to the cosmos. So when you have faith, anything is possible. So that's excellent advice. Good on your mom. Happy birthday, Mom. Turning 60 years old, Joan Cusack. She provided the voice of cowgirl Jessie in Toy Story 2 and 3, and also became known for her recurring role as Wacky Sheila on the Showtime hit series Shameless, among a million other things. She's been around a very, very long time in the music scene, and of course is the sister of John Cusack, another massive actor. So happy birthday, 60 years old, Joan Cusack. And in the music world, turning 76 years old today, American rock R&B singer Daryl Hall from Hall & Oates fame. The 1982 U.S. #1 hit Man Eater, plus 5 other U.S. #1 hits. Hall scored the solo 1986 single Dreamtime. And since late 2007, he's hosted the web television series Live from Daryl's House, which is now aired on MTV. He was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2004. Hall & Oates have sold an estimated 40 million records, making them the third best-selling music duo of all time. And undeniable. Hall & Oates is amazing. They have a string of hits. And I'll be honest with you. You know, I'm an album listener. I enjoy listening to records from front to back. There's some misses for me. They have some tunes. Obviously, the hits are hits for a reason. They have some tunes that are just I don't feel like they put a lot of effort into them, which is fine. We all have songs like that on our records. But you know, it's amazing. That they can have, you know, some of these mega hits, and then have misses. You know, yeah. I guess my point is, you expect people with that you admire to be perfect, and then you find out that they're not. So, with that being said, I'm not disappointed by any means. I just found it unusual. But Live from Daryl's House is dope. If you guys haven't checked it out, you gotta check it out. He jams at his house. With stars from every genre of all generations, and he's just as flawless as he's ever been as a vocalist. It's really and you know, they do little interviews and things in between songs and whatnot, and it's really, really well done. And I might be kind of stealing that idea on a local level here pretty soon. We're putting together all the pieces. So more info to come on that, perhaps. But it's a really great show. You guys should check it out. Daryl Hall turning 76 years old today. Happy birthday. All right, check it out. We got let me get to this top 10. It's a nice spooky season themed top 10 for you today. A visit to the pumpkin farm is always a great way to spend a crisp autumn day. There are a variety of seasonal activities, such as picking pumpkins, navigating corn mazes, and enjoying fall treats. Usually, these pleasant afternoons go by uneventfully. However, every so often, the unexpected happens. Dun, dun, dun! Ranging from shocking to bizarre and surprising, here are 10 times a crime took place in a pumpkin patch. On today's JNC Top 10, here we go. All right. I'm going to cut that music so that we can be super spooky. Really spooky tonight. All right, number 10. Number 10 here on our spooky list. One man from California tried thinking outside the box while on the run from the police, and his plan surprisingly involved the local Petaluma pumpkin patch. He was accused of stalking an ex-girlfriend and fled the scene when officers arrived to arrest him. He managed to flee into the corn maze at a nearby pumpkin patch. This maze was so intricate and well-designed that he avoided the police and a search helicopter for 2 hours while inside the corn maze. One officer who had been to the maze before while off duty even acknowledged how easy it would be to hide in the maze. Eventually, the man was discovered hiding in a chicken coop and was arrested by authorities, restoring peace to the pumpkin patch. I guess running into a corn maze is the best way to do it. Number 9. This is outrageous. Number 9. When robberies are reported in the news, we are accustomed to hearing about stolen money, jewelry, and cars, but it's not very often that we hear about stolen produce. Farms View Road Stand in New Jersey was robbed of 200 pumpkins. The thieves were caught in the act by security cameras. At first, it might not seem like this would be a very profitable crime, but according to the owner of the pumpkin stand, it would have ended up selling for close to $3,000. The owner of the pumpkin stand were so distraught over the loss of the pumpkins that they offered a cash reward to anyone who had information on the suspects. The robbery itself happened in 3 stages, very intricate. Security camera showed a vehicle approaching the pumpkin farm 3 different times during one night. A team of individuals jumped out to load up the pumpkins. It was a calculated plan for stealing the pumpkins, and we may never know the motive. Fortunately, if the thieves' intent was to try and shut down the family-owned pumpkin stand, they were unsuccessful. Pumpkin stand lives on. I guess they never caught them. Unbelievable. Perhaps a rival pumpkin stand? Stranger things have happened in the pumpkin patch. Ooh. Number 8 on our list. In October of 2018, while turning into the entrance of Jerry's Fall Harvest and Sunray Produce in Wisconsin, a local man was hit by a drunk driver. The man didn't survive the accident. His passenger had to be life-flighted to a nearby hospital. The owner of the pumpkin farm expressed that he was shaken up by the tragedy. The drunk driver was arrested and ordered not to drive any vehicles in case he posted bail. Nicholas Hanley, 46, was formally charged with vehicular homicide, a second count of homicide, 2 felony counts of causing injury by intoxicated use of a vehicle, and 2 other DWI-related offenses. With 3 prior convictions for DWI, Hanley had a blood alcohol level of .087. His last conviction was in 2006. He was driving with a valid license, which was restored in 2007. And in August of 2022, just a couple months ago, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Unbelievable. Seems a really short amount of time for killing someone. But that's a story for another time. Number 7 on our list of crimes at the pumpkin patch. It is each forgetful person's worst nightmare. According to one woman, while on a date at McCall's Pumpkin Patch in New Mexico, she absent-mindedly picked up a $2 pumpkin from a display stand. And then she wandered off, neglecting to pay for it. After being confronted, she reported that she offered to pay for the pumpkin, but her request was denied. She was escorted from the property in handcuffs. The bizarre situation escalated even further when the couple appeared in court. The presiding magistrate decided to rule based on the intention to steal and not the dollar amount of the item. Since that was the case, the couple was found guilty of shoplifting an item of $250 or less in value, and they were each sentenced to 40 hours of community service and had to pay $73 in court fees, all for a pumpkin worth less than $5. That is some serious pumpkin I don't even know what the word is. Protecting. They were loss prevention. They give that guy a raise. That's crazy. What does a $2 pumpkin look like? I mean, is it like a full-size pumpkin? Inquiring minds need to know. Because if you're carrying a big pumpkin around, and you didn't pay for it, and you're just wandering off somewhere, you're an idiot. It's not like you put it into a cart or put it under the little cart. How many times have we absentmindedly walked out with a case of colas or whatever, or toilet paper or whatever underneath the cart, and you forgot to scan it these days, or forgot to put it up on the register. Get stopped by the dude at the door. But yeah, if it's one of these little handheld, little tiny pumpkins, I could see that. I could see, where you're just kind of like, walking around. I don't know. That sucks. 40 hours of community service and $73. seems pretty crazy. I bet she didn't even get to keep that pumpkin either. I probably took it back. Wild. Number 6 on our list. 2 brothers ended up in a dangerous situation while playing in a corn maze in California pumpkin farm. The boys had been having fun in the maze and became separated from their family. After a while, the younger brother noticed 2 suspicious men following them. Before the kids could lose them in the maze, the boys said one of the men grabbed the younger brother by the arm and tried to drag him away. To defend his sibling, the eldest boy kicked the man in the crotch. Good boy. The boys managed to flee from the maze into the pumpkin patch and find their family and call the police. That's frightening. Truly. You won't catch me in a corn maze. You got me on another side of the pillow. I don't think that's a thing. We can make it a thing. On the other side of the pillow. Under the pillow. I don't know. I don't like any of that. That seems wildly out of control. To just be lost in a corn maze and then hear stories like that. No. I'm good. I'll go to a pumpkin patch. Risk getting hit by a drunk driver, but you won't catch my ass in a corn maze. Lost on another planet. I'm glad that story ended better than it could have. Number 5. Here. Nydia Tisdale assaulted and arrested by Tony Wooten for filming Georgia GOP campaign rally back in 2014. This all happened at Burt's Pumpkin Farm in Georgia. It found itself front and center of a high-profile court case where the journalist was arrested for filming a political rally. Tensions grew during the rally at the pumpkin patch as one of the political candidates asked the journalist why she was filming. Growing uncomfortable with the confrontations, the property owners decided to have local law enforcement step in. The journalist reported having permission to film and did not stop, resulting in her being forcefully removed. Chaos quickly began to unfold as the officer did not respond to the woman's calls for him to identify himself as a member of law enforcement. This caused a scuffle that resulted in her being taken into custody. The case surrounding an incident that all started at a family-owned pumpkin farm lasted for years. After several years of being closely monitored by the media, a ruling was reached, and the journalist did not have to serve any jail time. She was able to pay a $1,000 fine and complete community service to have the misdemeanor charge completely removed from her record. Is it illegal to film? I don't know. That seems like it escalated quickly. Wild. Georgia. Don't move there. That seems ridiculous. Number 4 on our list here. Most pumpkin farms have treats available for purchase or at least charge an entrance fee for their corn maze. But not everyone carries cash on them at all times. A Live Oak Canyon pumpkin farm in Redlands believed that they had managed to avoid this problem because they had an ATM available for customers. They didn't realize that the machine would cause them a different type of problem. One night, 2 men in a van drove up to the pumpkin patch and stole the entire ATM. They managed this by cutting the security cord and loading the machine into their rental van. However, the team was caught on surveillance discarding the machine after breaking into it. The authorities recovered it later and calculated that the thieves had gotten $19,000 out of it. Both men were eventually arrested and sentenced to jail time, and the police were even able to recover $2,000 of the money from the pumpkin farm's ATM. Well, that was a spending spree. Idiots, man. Crime pays, but not for long, it seems. Especially when you're an idiot. Number 3 on our list. Oh, man. At the same pumpkin patch where a woman was arrested for stealing a small pumpkin, nearly 10 years... These people again. Here we go. Nearly 10 years later, another dramatic situation unfolded. Perhaps to make the maze at McCall's Pumpkin Patch extra challenging, a man from New Mexico entered while intoxicated. Law enforcement interrupted the man in the middle of harassing and headbutting the actors performing in the corn maze. And deputies reported that they could smell the alcohol on his breath as he got in their faces and refused to exit the pumpkin patch peacefully. The man was handcuffed when he spit on a deputy's face. That didn't stop him from causing a scene to the embarrassment of his friends. According to the authorities, the man kept the performance up all the way to jail. Oh, you gotta watch your liquor, man. Number 2 here on our list. A video on social media challenging viewers to wreck mayhem was taken seriously by a group of teenagers at Rocaberry Farm in Nebraska. As a result of the incident at the pumpkin farm, 2 girls, 13 and 14 years old, were injured. The girls had to be treated at the hospital, but the injuries were not serious. Police used the Snapchat video to identify the suspects. Idiots. Pumpkin Patch increased its security presence as a response to the event and no longer allows children under the age of 15 to enter without an adult. What is the wreck mayhem? I'm not hip. I'm not cool. Whereas Michelle Trachtenberg is a young 37, I am an ancient one. What is wreck mayhem? And how did it hurt people? I don't know. If you know, let me know. Dive into my Snaps chats. I don't have a Snaps chat. I don't know how to operate it. I'm just getting into TikTok and the Instagrams. So I don't know. Number 1 here on our list of craziness at the pumpkin patch. Anyone driving down the highway near Go-Bert's Pumpkin Patch, an apple orchard in Chicago one afternoon, would be in for a huge surprise. A police chase was in progress. 2 zebras had escaped from the petting zoo at the local pumpkin patch. The Illinois State Police had to work together with the zoo to contain the wild situation. The zebras managed to hang on to their freedom for 2 hours before they were safely captured. In their defense, the zebras probably didn't know that running from the police was a crime. Aha! And there you have it. Top 10 crimes in a pumpkin patch for your spooky season. All right. I've got just a few shameless plugs for you. Get you on your way into your Tuesday. Very, very quickly, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jams and Cocktails Podcast Network. There's tons of cool stuff on there. Great content, I think. Let me toot my own horn there, but really great interviews with wonderful people local here to our music scene and beyond. So check out the Jams and Cocktails podcast. Check out the Drums and Rums podcast from our good friend Paul Robertson. You can find all that on Jams and Cocktails Podcast Network YouTube channel as well. Subscribing is singularly the easiest and freest thing that you can do to support us. So please do that. And thank you if you've already done it. Check out JNC Radio on our website at jncpodcast.com. You can listen to it straight from the website, as Philip does from time to time. Thank you, Philip. Or you can get the free LIVE365 Radio App from your favorite app store. And you get in there. It's completely free. You don't have to sign up for anything. You download it to your phone. You open it up, and it's ready to go. Search for JNC Radio, and just add us to your favorites there. And you can listen to this show each weekday morning. You can listen to great music all day, and you can listen to our podcast on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. And there's tons of other offerings on that app as well. So, while I hope that you listen to our radio station, you could peruse and find something that you might like as well. So check out the Live365 Radio App. Check out our friends at Code Rum. Right? You can see it there. Code Rum, thecoderum.com will get you there. Check out our friends at Hop Life Brewing. They have a beautiful website, which was designed by an even more beautiful man. Could be me. Could not be me. You never know. But check out Hop Life. They're local here in Port St. Lucie. Wonderful people, great beers. They just won the the River of Beers festival. They won their best beer was their Pineapple Viz, I believe, and they won the best beer there. So they're killing the game. It's awesome. So check out, of course, Hop Life Brewing. Check out our friends at the Sneaky Tiki in downtown Stewart. And remember to support local when you can, and support those who support us often. We love that. What else? I think that's it. You can check out my one-man band show. You can go to bradbrock.com, check out everything there. I'm playing a show tonight, God willing, weather permitting, at the Tipsy Tiki in Fort Pierce. This will be the first time in a couple of months that I've been able to play there. So hopefully the weather will cooperate, and I'll get to go and play this awesome venue. Very excited to get back there. So come check me out tonight, weather permitting. I'll let you know otherwise, but hopefully we're good. We're good. What else? I think that's it. This week on the show, we have Mike LeBeck on the Jams and Cocktails podcast. Coming up tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Mike LeBeck is a wonderful singer-songwriter and entertainer. Just relocated to Vero Beach, so he's now local. He's on our coast, and he's performing all over the place. So we'll get to chat with him, learn a little bit about his story, and check out some of his music, and then you can catch him around town while you're here. And yeah, so other than that, I think that's it. I thank you so much for tuning in with me this morning, keeping me company. It's really awful nice of you. Whatever you do today, do it with a smile. Take care of yourselves and each other, and be kind. I'll see you tomorrow morning right here on Jams and Coffee. Have a good day. Bye.
Tune in again tomorrow morning for the latest local buzz, national headlines, music news, and more on JNC in the Morning, right here on Facebook and YouTube.